Hello, hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome back to another episode of Ask Coach V. So excited to be here. Hello, Super Coach Ivon.
Hey, Coach V. Hey, everybody. Coach Yvonne here. We're ready for a new episode. It's going to be a good one. For those of you guys that know, welcome back. You're in for a treat. For those of you that are joining us for the first time on Ask Coach V, this is the show where we do exactly what the title says. We ask Coach V. So I go and I find questions, posts, concerns that agents are talking about out online or sometimes our clients, and we bring those questions here to Coach V, who, as you guys know, is a top producing agent in her own right. And then both of us have been coaching agents for years to help them have great results. So we have a real conversation about it, and we always bring out some great stuff, right, Coach?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We're always watching what everything that's going on, watching you guys, make sure we have a great feeling and a pulse of the market because, you're out there in the trenches. So we want to make sure we bring you a lot of tactics, strategies, and power. Right, Coach? So I'm ready.
Exactly. So let's jump into it. Let's get to our first question of the day. I'll go ahead and just throw it up here and we'll talk about it. So this is the question. So they said, I lost a listing to someone charging $49 to list the home. I found out the company is run by whoever, it doesn't matter, who won the lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that part doesn't really matter. But this isn't really a question, but this is more like a conversation starter. And
Hi.
as you can imagine, this led to hundreds of comments of all different types and people talking about it. And so I thought, you know what, who should talk about it? We should talk about it. So here we know. Here we go. We have an agent that lost the listing to a discount broker charging 49 bucks to list the home. Coach, a lot of people had a lot to say. What is your immediate reaction when you see something like that?
Well, right away, I know that maybe this person hasn't been long enough in the business because who here remember assist to sell, right? Sell for less, and also remember once we started have online business and people also, we could see that people paying $500 for someone to sell home. Hey, darling, this is going to happen. So the question is, you got to ask yourself, how can I elevate my skills of conversion, conversation, and my ability to build the value so I can command my fee and not lose to the $50 process. So I don't know about the details, but again, there's so many companies out there. This week, Coach Yvonne, I got a letter on my mail from Open Door, offer me to sell my home with like no fees or very little fees. So it's gonna happen. What, right? Isn't it true?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really good point to bring up is guys, this isn't new, right? I mean,
Yeah.
every time that this sort of thing happens, someone gets burned by a discount broker or some they have some bad experience. People love to freak out about it as if like, oh, this is the state of the industry now. It's going to go in this direction and, we're never going to be able to compete with the giant corporations but guys, like Coach V just said, this has been going on for a long time, right? There's always been discount brokers. There's always been people who think I can do it better. I don't need an agent. I can be for sale by owner, right? This stuff has been going on the whole time. So let me ask you a question then, Coach V. Uh, if we know that there's always going to be discount brokers, how can agents compete with them? How can an agent, make someone pay them a significant percentage of the purchase price when they can pay someone a flat fee?
I appreciate that. First of all, let's have really the mentality, the psychology that we can't control people, and some people will never ever do anything based on value. Some people are stuck in the paradigm, and they're not willing to even hear you, and they never see or hear about return investment, return of value, return of time and energy. So those people that they're going to be closed. Those are
Right,
going to be
because all they
battlefield.
see is cost,
All
right?
this is the
They don't see
cost.
value, they only see
Yeah.
cost.
And then maybe they have to suffer many times, trying to hire someone for 500 or $50 until they realize, shit, I just lost a lot of money. I just, made a huge mistake. But that's not our people. The question you have to say is, how can I build a business that I have more repeat referral? That's awesome because right away they know you, they trust you, they come to you really halfway sold. By the way, today, during our coaching call with our VIP group and one-on-ones during our Zoom live that we did, I started with the call because we had a very similar question to this. And I started with the call saying, everyone write this down. In the absence of value, everything is expensive. Even $100, right? $1,000 expensive. So the question you got to ask yourself is, what value do I bring to the table? What makes me so irreplaceable, so unforgettable, so valuable that they will pay me my fee, full fee for my service. So you got to ask yourself, because you see, rejection is feedback. Rejection is feedback. So some people are still gonna go no matter what, but that's a few percentage. If you show enough value, enough benefit, enough skills on your level of exposure, of marketing, of negotiation, of fighting for them, they will pay you. Coach, very quickly before I give you the mic back, I remember so well. It was actually one of my first videos. That video might be like 9 years old or more. When I did a recording video and I post on my YouTube and I sent to several groups about the guy who was doing for 1%. And it's funny because I got a little bit of hate from some agents. Oh, you know what? Da, 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 da. Because I say the way I said, by the way, so you can go right here on my YouTube and look for 1% commission videos with Coach Vanda, because the thing is, they're always going to be there. So the question you got to ask yourself is, what can I learn from this? What I'm going to do different? How I'm going to elevate my skills, my presentation, so I show up like the freaking master. So they are dying to hire me. Would you agree, Coach Yvonne?
Yeah, absolutely, right? And I think the idea is wrong to think like, oh, I'm gonna beat the, you know, perceived value of how cheap they are. Really what we need to show is, what are you gonna bring to the table more? What are you gonna give them? What are they gonna get out of it? Because that's all anyone really cares about is what's in it for me. So
Yeah.
obviously, if this person is choosing the $50 service over working with that agent didn't show them anything of what's in it for me. Because if I talk to someone and they go, you know what, I think I'm going to go with this service that's $50. I'm going to say, wow, really? You're going to go with this service? Okay, it costs this much. And can I ask you a little more about it and about this and about that? And do they do this for you? And do they do that for you? And have they ever showed you this? And do you think they're going to talk about this? And how about negotiation? And,
Yeah.
you can paint the picture for them and help them to see, hey, you think you're saving money on commission, but you're going to overpay this amount of money because they're not negotiating for you, or you're going to lose this much on your house when you sell because they're not there fighting for you. So I think this isn't really like a thing where anyone needs to be concerned about how cheap the other guys go. Just
Yeah.
concern yourselves with how can you convey to the prospective buyer or seller what you're going to give to them if they work with you.
Yeah. So again, if I love what you said, brilliant, because that means this person doesn't know how to handle objection with skills, elegance, and grace. So the person he presented saw no value, no credibility and value at all to hire them and pay the regular fee or the whatever fee you want, right?
Yeah,
So
and actually, coach, it makes me remember back to the wording of what they said, which is I lost the listing to someone a service who was charging $50. They didn't lose the listing, right? They never had the listing.
they
And
lost an opportunity.
you don't lose what you don't have. So
Exactly.
that's
Bam.
one of the things that agents need to understand is like until you show the prospect, the lead, the person you're talking to, what they can get out of a situation, they don't even see enough value to sit down and talk to you, right? You got to show them the value of the meeting, show them the value of having a conversation with you, and then in that conversation, you can show them the value of listing with you versus the discount service because
Exactly.
that agent didn't lose a listing, they never had the listing.
Yeah, but that's exactly what we're talking about here is lack of awareness of business maturity and also of really owning only be responsible for your results. Because this thing is, yeah, you don't lose what you don't have. You lost an opportunity. Now make that into a gift, a lesson, and realize, holy shit, holy smokes, it's giving me feedback. I am getting feedback. And the knowledge is, I don't know how to present. My communication skills sucks. I don't know how to handle objection. I don't know how to close because if they can go and choose a $50 person, $50, right? Instead of choose me, you don't know how to display your expertise, you don't know how to show your value proposition. Yeah, you darling, I'm sorry to say, but you suck right now. So get better, learn the skills, become an amazing listing agent, know all the objections they might have. How do you present your marketing machine? How do you handle the objection? How do you really build up all the different things that you do so you can differentiate yourself? I love this. Can you tell, Coach Yvonne? I mean, this
Yeah,
is this
exactly.
is
So yeah,
actually a
this
moment to grow.
yeah, for sure, right? And this is that realization that, look, guys, let's just kind of summarize this one before we move on. There's always going to be discount brokers. There's
Always.
always going to be services out there that are basically going to do the paperwork for them so they can list it, and that's all they do. Is put it on Zillow, put it on the internet. Your job is to differentiate yourself and show what you're going to bring them to the table, right? So make sure that you're showing your value, showing what you're going to do, showing what's in it for them, because that's all they care about. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, this is a learning opportunity. And also, I will say this, like Coach V said in the very beginning, some people can't get past that shift in their head of cost versus value, and they're going to have to go through the
Yeah.
process. And you can't win them all. But if you get good at handling objections and you get good at displaying what you can do for them, that's not going to be an objection you have to be scared of.
Exactly. And I would say even more, Coach Yvonne, I know what you're saying, good, but I would say master this stuff, master. And I would say like this, something you always say, Coach, if you do more than once, it has to become an SOP, standard operating procedure. So you are going to go more than one listing. So guys, if your listing presentation is not prepared, you have a progression and you know exactly how to do every part of it, you're winging it. So that means takes energy and you're unpredictable and you don't know how you're gonna win. So learn this and know this is how I handle objections. Here's the top 5 objections every seller might bring to me. This is how I present my unique value proposition and the benefits of work with me. Here's how I bring my marketing machine. And I'll tell you right away, who wants a pro tip? I say, become an amazing storyteller, an example giver. If you're not giving an example or telling a horror story, you're missing an amazing opportunity to influence because sales is a transfer of skills. And if you don't know how to tell a bad story so they can see the vision, so can they feel the pain, you can influence. So what story you have on your toolbox to bring it in when a client says stuff like that? Oh my God, you have to have some great stories about horror. I have so many, right, Coach?
Exactly, right? That's when you can draw that comparison. Oh, this is just like, my other client thought this was a good idea and this happened and this happened
This
and this
happened, and
happened.
here's
So,
what
so there
happened.
you go, guys. If you're worried about the discount brokers, it's nothing new. Don't worry about them. Worry about what you can do to show your people how you bring value and what you do. So awesome. Let's move on. We can do one more question, and I have another one. This one is a little different, but still a great question. My broker says cold calling does not work and makes realtors look like used car salespeople. How else can I find clients without cold calling? All right, pretty standard question there, right? So they said their broker says cold calling sucks, makes realtors look bad. What else can they do to find business, coach?
I love this. First of all, there's two parts here, and I'll really work on being very concise, Coach, because you know me, I can spend the whole 2 hours here on this. So first of all, if you sound like a car salesperson, it means you don't know how to sell. Anyone who's cold calling or circle calling or calling expires or for sale by owner or old leads, whatever it is, if you sound like a car salesperson, what people call them means you're not influencing, you're not leading, you are pushing, forcing, you don't know how to repeat technology. So again, it's lack of skills. So your broker, by the way, guys, don't listen to everything your brokers tell you. I mean, listen and filter because some of them don't have the experience and knowledge and maybe never sold many homes and they're just saying what they hear, what they think is right. So first of all,
Yeah, so that
it's
so
a
that
beautiful
first
thing.
point, right, coach?
First
It's
point.
not it's not cold calling that makes you sound like a used car salesperson. It's being poor on the phone. It's not having the skills,
Exactly.
right? Because we know, because we work with agents at all levels of production all over the country, whether they just got their license or they're doing 300 million in volume, and we know that when you have the right approach, absolutely cold calling can work. We have clients that get multi-million dollar listings from cold calling and cold door knocking. So if you think you're going to be a used car salesperson automatically, if you cold call or door knock or do, those cold outreach, that's not it. You sound that way if you don't have the right skills. So right away, that's something we need to really establish.
Exactly. And coach, let me add here because it's important. Guys, many of you ask me, coach, how did you sell 32 homes your first year? And 62 the second year in a new market. So guys, I was doing 3 open houses per weekend, two on Saturday, one on Sunday. I was dropping flyers in the area that I deserved to farm, that I decided to farm. And guess what? Tuesday and Thursday, between 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Many times I started like 5:45. I was circum calling, what you call cold calling, but with nice tonality. And I practiced and role play, and I knew how to say, look, I got so many listings from that. One of my best client, Coach Ivon, I called in the area, Marina, in the area in Stockton, and he answer, we had a nice conversation. Guess what? He bought a place with me, and later he gave me a lot of business because he was a multimillionaire who just was getting divorced at the time. He wasn't in the condo renting. He bought a home with me, and later, guess what? A lot of his employees, he sent it to me. So again, if you are failing on the phone, it's because you sound like a telemarketer, or you don't know how to sell, and you are pushing, annoying, obnoxious. Yeah, so don't call until you learn how to do this.
Yeah, and I think it's an important thing to bring up too, because look, like we said, this is a two-part question, right? Broker said cold calling doesn't work. What else should I do to get business? The first answer is cold calling works if you do it right. The second answer is everything else, right? This is the world's biggest question. How can I get business? Work your database, do open houses, farm, online leads, social media, expires for sell by owner. There's a million ways to get business, but I think what more important for us to talk about here, Coach V, is just let's double down on the fact that, someone might tell you this lead source doesn't work because they tried it with the wrong approach and it didn't work for them. And so then they carry
Exactly.
forward for the rest of their lives, oh, this lead source doesn't work. How many agents do we run into that say, oh, I would never pay for Zillow, Zillow doesn't work. But at the same time, we have clients doing 3, 4, 5 transactions a month
A
from
month.
from Zillow, right? So it's not about so much the lead source. It's more about, doing it the right way. Now, I'll say this, and Coach V, I think you'll agree with someone saying, okay, I can't cold call. How should I get business? At the very least, make sure you're working your database consistently,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And by the way, coach, that reminds me, guys, who here wants to become a lead generation machine? Who here would like to be? Listen, I said today in my post at the Warriors Real Estate, our beautiful private but free group, I said, look, you can't control the interest rate. You can't control the market. You can't control the government, the election, or the season, but you can control CAN, your level skills, therefore your conversion. So do you want to tell them about it, coach? Tell them what's going on next week.
Yeah, so next week we have a free training, a free workshop where we're going to talk about how to build your lead generation machine. We're going to break down a whole bunch of different techniques to make sure that you know exactly where your next business is coming from, because no one likes to sit around and not know where's my next deal coming from. So we're going to pin the comment here. We'll put the first comment here in the video, the registration link for you to sign up for the free workshop. Guys, it's free. Show up, better yourselves. There's zero reason not to. It's going to be on January 30th. Okay. So make sure that you register. This should go out with enough time for you to register and save your seat because you do not want to miss it.
Yes, yes, yes. And you can be like, Andrea Gorda, I was coaching her yesterday, this January, selling 5 homes. She already got 6 listings. Oh my gosh, kicking ass. You guys can do it too. So, coach, now let's go here very quickly about the lead generation. So they have to decide. They have to decide also what they want. Yeah, if you don't want to cold call, don't cold call, but what else are you doing to generate leads? And how is your level of skills and how is your approach? That's what we do. It comes down to we decide how we're going to convert and how strong we're going to be, right?
Exactly, coach. So look, 2 great questions today, some great answers. Summarizing it all, it's up to us, right? It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's not about what our broker says. It's not about all these things. It's about us showing the value, learning the skills, going out there and doing it and taking charge, right, coach? So thank you for another
Exactly.
great episode of Ask Coach V.
Thank you so much. And do me a favor, share this with someone who's like, oh, you know what? My business not going well because of the market or because of interest rate. You know what? Guys and girls, this is what we do. Everything comes in direct proportion of your level of skills, communication, and how you approach. So thank you for coming up, Coach Vaughn. Thank you for your participation. Amazing brilliance.
Yeah, always great to be here, and we'll be back with another one soon. Guys, if you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about, put them down there in the comments. We'll be happy to see them.
Happy to see you. So see you next time. We love you and go share your magic energy and sell a lot of homes. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.